guys. So, welcome to episode 4 of Churvapalooza. I'm Chick.
I'm Jack.
And I'm Ting.
Before we move forward to this week's episode, let me ask you, ladies, what is your Churva?
So, syempre, recently with the kids, I had trick or treating. It's actually my first time to really dress up, like because we had one, in the office. I had no choice but to really dress up, because I'm one of the organizers. So I wore kind of like a pirate costume. And then when I went home, I had to dress up Isha. Isha dressed up as Chucky girl. So we went around the neighborhood. It was really fun. My legs were hurting. So, but we did get a lot. We did get a lot of candy. So yeah, we still have some now.
That sounds fun. What about you,
Oh.
Ting?
Well, at least, Jack, your weather was good to walk around. But over here, kasi it started snowing na. Halloween was a bit cold. But for me, it has to do with my kids then. My daughter has been taking Hapkido. And for those not familiar with it, it's a Korean martial art form. From what I gather from what Kissy's been telling me, Hapkido is kind of a fusion of the martial arts that we know.
Um,
Like there's punches, kicks, grappling, takedowns. So it's a fusion of mostly everything.
a
And
mix of everything.
yeah, it's a mix. And my churva is that she's recently moved up from being a white belt to a yellow belt. Yay! I know it's just, she's just at the starting levels, but progress is always a good thing. So congratulations, baby girl.
Yeah, wow, that's
Yeah.
really exciting for you guys who are, my friends in Facebook. I guess you've seen the video of me and Lawrence just carving our pumpkin. We really had fun. I used to do it with the kids, with my granddaughter.
Yeah.
But now because I'm here, US, and it's just me and Lawrence, we kind of made it fun for both of us. So, like I said, carving date night with my hubby.
When I saw that chick, sabi ko, I reminded myself, I really need to do that. Because, you know what? Almost a decade here in Canada, and I've never carved a pumpkin.
No way!
Never.
No, you should do that. You know what? Next year you should do that. Like all of us, right?
Yeah.
We should. You and the hubby and the kids. We should do
Uh-huh.
that.
Yeah, let's do a pumpkin carving party.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
So before we start this episode, we always want to be clear with this. Okay, this is also again a disclaimer that the views and opinions expressed by the podcast host and guests are our own opinions and based on our individual experiences and are not intended to malign and generalize or stereotype anyone or anything. Anyway, so let's go ahead and go on with our topic for today. So it's getting closer to the time of the year. Our podcast episode this week is all about holidays, right?
Ooh.
It's so exciting to just, think about it and talk about this.
Yes.
So Halloween is over and November is here. And I know it's getting exciting and time to think about the holidays. But today's topic will focus more on how Filipinos celebrate these holidays abroad. Let's start with the one that's looming closer, and that is Thanksgiving. So here in US, we celebrate Thanksgiving every last Thursdays of November. I think this year Thanksgiving is November 24th. And for Ting, it was
This year it fell on, I'm looking at my calendar here. October 10.
October 10, right?
Yeah.
So basically, it's the same in America, right? The Thanksgiving, Canada and America are basically the same. Of course, without just the history of, the pilgrim. But for the most part, we celebrate pretty, similarly. Before we start, let's just give our listener a brief history of Thanksgiving. Let's start with Ting, Canadian.
Nahirapan talaga ako dito. I really had a hard time because I had to do my research because Thanksgiving is not native to us Filipinos, okay? So,
That's true.
correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I've read, and I'm not going into much detail here,
Mhm.
Thanksgiving has evolved, right? From first the explorers giving thanks for like safe travels because back then they traveled by sea and it was a dangerous trip for them. So Thanksgiving, they celebrated Thanksgiving to be thankful for landing safely. And then in the 1900s, because Canada is a Commonwealth country, right? So they held Thanksgiving to celebrate the recovery of the Prince of Wales from a serious illness. That was the other thing. And then in most recent years, when they began to celebrate Thanksgiving as a statutory holiday or a national holiday, Thanksgiving came to mean giving thanks for a bountiful harvest. And that was to be observed on the second Monday of October. And so, that's just my rushed research. If anyone knows better, please feel free to, express your corrections and educate us, please. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like I've also, read about the history of that because I used to live in Canada. Of
Yeah.
course, like I wanna, just a brief history before, okay, like I'm going to celebrate with you. So that's really very interesting too. So now we talk about American Thanksgiving, Jack. So
Now I'm getting scared because Ting did really some
I
good
did
research.
my research.
And I'm like, what am I gonna say? But and to be honest, let me just share this. Even if I ask, my friends, coworkers that are even my husband that live here,
yeah,
and they don't know what it is. I mean, they do not know. But from what I know, is like you said, it's being celebrated, during the season of autumn, fourth Thursday of November. It just signifies, the season. I think this is the season where most crops are being harvested. That's why our decorations are at home are,
mhm.
more than likely, manifesting anything about harvest. Um, I don't know. And then I just found out that turkey wasn't even served during the 1600s when Thanksgiving initially started. But I know it was brought by New England to the US. That's the only information I know, to be honest.
Yeah, no, and I can also like add based on what I have read and what I have heard. So like they call these people pilgrims. They sailed to America, which I think in Massachusetts. And that time those pilgrims are not farmers. So it was winter and that they had a very hard time producing food. So what happened is that there's a lot of people who got sick and died because of starvation. But
Mhm.
then this Native Americans went to these pilgrims and they taught them how to grow crops. That's when they learned, these pilgrims learned how to do all these things and feed themselves.
Yeah.
And then pilgrims and then the Native American had this feast, just this pilgrims just saying thank you and being grateful to the Native Americans because they taught them this. And I think, yeah, this was the first Thanksgiving that was held. I think they said for 3 days they had all the big feast, right? So
Mm.
all the crops and all, ducks and poultries and roast, pigs and all this food. So that is just a brief history of what I know
Oh
about
no,
Yeah.
Thanksgiving.
that's so nice to know. Thank you for sharing that story, Chiclet. Because I always knew it had something to do with Native Americans and pilgrims
Mhm.
Yeah,
celebrating
Yes.
together. But
together.
yeah, now you gave us the details
Yeah,
of what they are celebrating.
yeah,
Thank you.
exactly,
And
exactly.
now I remember that it was winter even when they first celebrated it, and I think there was drought. That's what I read before, that there was drought, there was
Ex-
starvation, and yeah, and
Exactly.
that is why up until now, during Thanksgiving there is overeating. It kind of like it's
Yeah,
synonymous
it's
to
like
overeating
Yes.
because of that 3 day celebration. So nice,
yeah,
nice. Thank
I really think it's very important for us to know the history of this important holidays when we celebrate it with our American and Canadian friends and families, so that we can really appreciate more and know, what is the point of really celebrating it, right? I guess right now, when you say Thanksgiving, it's all about, about food and family and friends. I'm just so interested to know, like, the modern tradition that they said and how to celebrate Thanksgiving. Because here in Michigan, I just heard from my father-in-law
Yeah.
that here in Michigan, aside from dinner or, family gathering, This is a long-standing tradition to watch the Detroit Lions, like the NFL football team, like
Mhm.
play in the afternoon. So, so that
Yeah.
is like traditional. So, guys, like I guess, thing in Canada, do you have a modern tradition Thanksgiving, or people do this?
I guess I agree with you. It's all about gathering, especially for Canadians. Thanksgiving to them is like our Christmas. In
Yeah.
terms of gathering, where the family comes like from far and wide, they really do travel to be home for Thanksgiving. And then of
Mhm.
course, there's food. So much food.
So much food.
But I've never heard of like the tradition of watching a football game after. I don't
Mhm.
know. Maybe it's not a thing here, or I
Mhm.
just haven't heard it, or we don't do it.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
only time I watch football is during the Super Bowl, and only to see the halftime show. Okay,
Halftime show.
let's make that clear.
It's true.
Well,
Yeah.
but the main thing here for me on Thanksgiving is I like to think about the question, what are you grateful for? So
Yeah.
that's the big thing for me. Yeah.
It's all right. I can add to that to what Chick said because they're all true, especially for the football part. And I can agree with Ting with it being celebrated more than Christmas. I noticed that they if your children are like all over the world or like in different states, they all come together. That's when they really go to this what they call ancestral home, if how in our Filipino term. And I've also noticed about they talk about I'm grateful for this, I'm grateful for that. They really take time to each of the member of the family talks about that during the time that they're eating. And I've also noticed some family just going to restaurants and celebrate it that way. Just
Mhm.
now
Yeah.
the traditions have changed depending on how the family really wants to celebrate it. But it's just really about gathering and food, and that's it.
I'm just curious. So, do you prepare, guys? Like, and what about the food? Yeah. Tell me. Oh, wait. Let's start with Ting, because Ting loves to
Yeah.
host and prepare lots of food. I'm just so interested. What, Ting? Thanks. Your
Okay.
Thanksgiving.
Ako pa talaga yung una, eh. But would you believe I've never made a traditional Thanksgiving dinner? I've never cooked turkey.
Never? Oh, never.
Never,
Totally
never
never.
cooked turkey, but it's something that I plan to do next year. Okay?
Okay.
It's
All
I've said
right.
that I said that last year then. Okay, so next year. It's just that, life gets so hectic over here. Like this year, for example, kumurap lang ako or I just blinked and and suddenly, oh, Thanksgiving weekend na pala and I
Yeah.
hadn't planned anything yet, right?
Mhm,
So,
mhm.
I mean, we celebrate the holiday, but for example, Jay's not a fan of turkey, so he doesn't really push for it.
Mhm.
We have a couple of friends who celebrate their birthdays around that time at Thanksgiving. So at least we get together, so the gathering element is there,
Yeah.
but we still have Filipino food. My Thanksgiving staples would be glazed ham. I like that, like pineapple ham, seafoods like crabs, that's always special. Uh,
Oh,
we have the
yummy.
pancit. Also, we've done poodle fights before, but this was
Mm.
pre-pandemic because, of course, during the pandemic, But well, for them to understand, let's explain boodle fight, right? So it's you
Yeah.
have a table, and you line that with banana leaves, and then you have the amount of
Throw your
food.
food in
Before, rice is the main staple, and then you have the ulam, the main dish, right? And then
Mhm.
you all get together, surround the table, and eat with your hands, so kamayan style.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we've done that. That was fun, and hopefully we can do that again now that it's safe to do that.
Mhm.
Right. Yeah, because
Mhm.
of the pandemic. Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah,
Yeah. So, Jack, what
Mhm.
about you? How will you? Because our Thanksgiving is coming.
yeah.
So, like, okay, so what's your plan? Like, how are you preparing for Thanksgiving?
I want to tell you this, guys. My first year, it was really kind of like I was new to Thanksgiving, so I celebrated it. But like what Ting did, the food like that served were all Filipino. There's pancit, there's spring roll, like everything. No American food at all. So and then it was like year after year, I get adjusted to the food, and my palate changed, I guess, too, somehow.
Mm.
So now I never cook turkey, similar to thing, but it's just now I do have some, those the one that you buy that's like sliced turkey already. Sometimes
Mhm.
I,
Yeah.
I have that. I have cornbread now. I have mashed potatoes. Like it's changing, and we did that boodle fight too. But now even my children probably have changed, their preferences in food. So now it's a mix. It's a mix of there's still Filipino, of course. I will not stop. Doing the same thing, and then there's, I have to give respect to my husband's taste, and I have to make
Yeah.
sure I still prepare that. So it's a compromise.
I agree. So I guess what I can share right now is, my Canadian Thanksgiving, because this coming Thanksgiving here in America, this is the first time that, I moved here and really will celebrate the Thanksgiving. So in Canada, if I have Canadian guests, I would
Yeah.
prepare more, like the Western style turkey dinner. If I
Mhm.
have Filipino friends, I would do Filipino with a mix of, like turkey. So probably will be more work with Filipino guests,
So
right?
you
Correct.
cook turkey?
I did.
Like the
Oh, you
whole
should
My
share your
turkey
tips, when
is
I
to
when I try to.
die for. So I'm
Really?
gonna give you a recipe on how
yes,
to cook
please.
moist turkey. So I have been doing Thanksgiving with turkey. And guys, I'm gonna tell you the turkey, no leftover.
Really?
Like
Wow.
done. Always.
Really?
Yeah. So I don't know if it's a secret or not, but I think like most people who love cooking turkey knows about brining. This add moist to the turkey.
Yeah.
And also it does matter on what kind of spices you put in, your brine mixture. So if you're really interested, I can give you,
Of
the
course.
recipe, and even
Yes,
you
please.
guys, our listeners, like just comment in our YouTube or wherever. Like if you want that recipe, I'll be willing to give that to you.
Chiclet will give you the recipe. As for
Sure
me,
enough.
I'm doing this praying hands for
Yes,
next year,
me
for next
too.
when I cook the turkey. I hope it's as good as chiclets.
Again, so the turkey, we're talking about turkey.
Yeah.
And we and we
It's
were ready.
making me hungry.
Yeah, no, and
Makes
even
me
like
hungry now.
yesterday, right? When we were doing brainstorming, I asked you like, hey, why did we why do we have to serve turkey? We talk about the history of, the pilgrims and Native Americans. The first Thanksgiving feast, it says there they didn't even serve turkey. They served ducks, served roast
Okay.
pigs,
So where did the
right?
turkey come from? Yeah.
That time, like they said, like turkey was available. Like there's a lot of turkeys
Oh,
available.
okay.
And I
Mm-hmm.
guess it's more economic to people to serve turkey. And guys, like this is a big turkey. If you
It's a
serve it
big bird.
for, like the whole family, right? It feeds the
Yeah.
whole family. So it's
That's what
more
I was
economic.
thinking too.
So now I'm very excited because we will be having Thanksgiving with my in-laws, but I am in charge of the turkey. And yeah, so
Ooh,
I'm in charge of the turkey, and
pressured.
mom is in charge, yeah, of the rest. Because yeah, mom said, okay, you make the real good turkey, and that's a lot of work. So that's your job.
It is
Yeah.
a
It's
lot of
kind
work.
of yeah, it is. What do you call that? We, it's division of labor to
Yeah.
cook.
Mm,
Yeah, and we don't want mom to do a lot of everything. So
And
mm.
I've also heard that making the a turkey dinner is all about timing.
uh-huh,
You want to
all
Yes.
time
about
it that everything's ready by the
yeah,
time you sit down, and also to time it that you give the turkey a chance to,
Mm.
sit
yeah, to
right.
sit.
A
You
lot of
can't serve
things.
the turkey right away. You have like if you take the turkey out of the oven, you have to let it sit for for a little bit, and then that's when you can start carving the turkey. So it's all timing.
No planning,
Good
Sam.
luck.
Good luck, but no,
And
I
good
think
luck.
you guys will do good. Like you'll get it as long as you follow instructions, right?
I'm good with
Yeah.
chicken
Okay.
wings. Thank you. I'm good with chicken wings.
All right. So I also want to add this, and I'm pretty sure again that you ladies will agree that celebrating Thanksgiving for us is also like a look back of struggles that we initially had as immigrants, right? So do you feel that? Like
Mhm.
I always feel um when celebrating Thanksgiving in Canada, like it always just comes in my mind, like just think about it, like Lord, like I'm just so thankful for for this blessing that I was able to come here in Canada and help my son, my family, like, yeah. So it's also um realizing, yeah, the blessings of the past and the present, right?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
I don't know. What do you think, guys?
For me, it's not like specifically being an immigrant and making it here,
Hmm.
but for everything,
For
Yes.
for
everything.
surviving everything, all the good things in life, I'm grateful for. And even the not so good things, because I have no regrets because they led me to where I am now. Right?
Yes, that's
Yeah.
nice. For me, when I give my thanks during Thanksgiving, it's what happened for that specific year. Because
Mhm.
Thanksgiving is kind of like at the end of the year. So I kind of look back to everything that had happened from January all the way until to the present, and that's what I really give thanks for. So that's how I do it.
Yeah,
Great.
and yeah,
Yeah.
I think this celebration is very important to a lot of people because our life is just so fast paced. And this is like the time to just sit and think
Yeah.
and realize that, hey, even if it's not all blessings, right? I think, like, I agree with Ting also, the not so good that
Yes.
makes us, it's still a blessing because it makes us stronger,
Mhm.
it
Yes.
makes us wiser,
Yeah.
and yeah, like it makes us a better person.
Yeah. It's part of
So
who we are now. Yeah.
Our folks in the Philippines, if you can do it in Christmas, you can do it during your New Year
yeah,
celebration. But
Yeah.
please, if you, especially after the 2 year long pandemic, it makes you realize a lot of things that you should consider important to your life. So folks in the Philippines, I hope you guys put it,
yeah,
add it during your celebration to at least express how thankful you are of having each other,
Mhm.
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So there you go. Very interesting Thanksgiving celebration. So now we're going to talk about Christmas. Oh my
Woohoo!
God, that's getting
Oh
really
my
exciting.
gosh. Mm.
So yeah, so we're going to talk about Christmas. So let's say, like, every country has its own set of traditions to follow for the Yuletide season. But Filipinos do it best. After all, we celebrate Christmas for a longer than any other country in the world. So
Mhm.
let's talk about similarities, differences in the way Christmas is celebrated in US and in Canada and in our home country, our beloved home country, Philippines.
Yes.
My question is, how do you say Merry Christmas, or how do you greet your friends during this season? Um, well, okay, so I want to start with Ting first because I've experienced this in Canada.
Yeah, that's something that I learned in Canada. It's very diverse and not everyone is Catholic, unlike back home. So instead of Merry Christmas, I say Happy Holidays. That's what I
Correct.
say. Yeah.
Yeah, correct.
Mm.
It is also sometimes, I mean, me being Christian, and we've
Yeah.
always, like, we were taught in church that, like, even our neighbors doesn't celebrate Christmas, or they're not Christians, but because we want to,
Share
share
the
the love
love.
of Christ, just, say Merry Christmas. And I get it, I agree. But there are some people who gets really offended.
Offended.
Yeah,
Oh.
so you have to be very careful.
Instead of Christmas party for office parties, we say holiday party,
Yeah, I
staff
was about
holiday
to share
party.
that because my experience with that is I was supposed to organize kind of like a celebration at work. Now I'm so scared, or at least cautious about saying Christmas party. It's only then
Oh.
when I learned that, hey, you don't say that, or you don't say Merry Christmas, you just say Happy
Mhm.
Holidays or Holiday Season, because,
Mhm.
like you said, to give respect for those who are not really into that.
Honestly, when I came to Canada, I really didn't know. I didn't
Mhm.
know that. I
Me
just learned, like, I have heard from some other nannies, and I've heard from my
Yeah.
aunt. So there you go, guys. Like, I mean, those people who are just immigrated or will be immigrating abroad. So we just want to, guys, to remind you, holidays are coming. So we just want to, we don't want to offend people. Try to be safe. Just use
Yeah.
first happy holidays.
Until you get a feel of the other side, and if you
Exactly.
know that they celebrate Christmas, then you're free to say Merry Christmas.
Yeah, yeah. True, true. Okay, now let's go to how we decorate our home. So this is also a big thing in the Philippines. It's a big
Yeah.
thing.
It's gonna be how my tradition back home. I still have the Christmas tree. Sometimes I do, like have those inflatable decorations outside your porch.
Mhm.
But really, my big decoration is inside. I still want to feel the Filipino vibe inside my house. So I
Mhm.
still have, the basics, Christmas tree, there's gifts, what else, the garlands and all that. It's still very Filipino in my home.
What
Um,
about, sorry, what about parole?
I know, but it's I have a
Really?
friend. Yeah, I have a friend that actually had that, and I wish I have it. But like I said, I no longer put decorations outside the house.
Oh,
I
Mm.
concentrate inside. Yes.
Remember back home, you must have your tree up and Christmas carols playing in the background by the start of September,
September.
right?
Yeah.
We have such a thing that we call bear months.
Mhm.
And they
Mhm.
don't know that here in Canada, and I have to explain it. It's our Christmas season from September to December. So that's bear months. Anyway, so
I like how you
September
say
1st it starts, right?
Yeah, yeah. That's
And
why they
lalab-
said we celebrate the longest
the
Christmas,
longest.
which
Mhm.
starts
Mhm.
September.
Lalabas na si Jose Marichan, September 1st.
Yes.
Wait, what's the song?
Christmas
Let's
in our
Christmas
hearts.
in our hearts.
let's
Yeah.
sing Merry
Yeah.
Christmas and
Yeah.
a
What a
Happy
happy
Holiday.
holiday.
But you know what? Here in Canada, I know I've mentioned this before. We have to wait till after November 11. That's the exact date of Remembrance Day, because we have to be respectful of the fallen soldiers and the veterans, which I understand. Yeah, I understand. I really have a heart for the veterans and the work that they do in serving the nation and protecting us. So they deserve their day. In addition, they also have the tradition of wearing, I know, Chiclet, you've seen it, the poppy. Have you done it? To
Yeah.
wear the poppy, the red
I think,
flower
yeah,
on your
I did, but
lapel.
I know about the puppy.
You wear the poppy after Halloween
Yeah,
until November 11.
yeah,
And
just
Mhm.
to
then that's
honor
done.
the, yeah,
Oh
the
wow.
veterans.
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
Mhm.
And then, of course, after November 11, that's the only time that you can decorate outside. I mean, it's not a hard rule. And over here, usong-uso yung inflatables.
Yes.
Oh
It's
my
a
gosh,
thing.
here
I
too.
have a big Santa
Oh,
um
yeah.
Me too.
during Christmas time in front of my house.
Yep. Yep.
Oh, yeah, and aparol, you mentioned, Chick. I made sure when I went home last
Mhm.
time, 2019, pre-pandemic, I made sure to go to San Fernando to go buy aparol over there. Of course, it's not
Oh
the
wow.
very big one,
Yeah.
just the small size that'll fit in my luggage.
So were you able to?
To bring one?
Yes, I have one. But if
Really?
you buy it here, it's expensive.
It's
It
It's
super
so
is.
expensive
expensive
to buy it here.
So
here.
for our listeners who don't know exactly what's parole, here I think they call them like
Lanterns.
it's a
The
Christmas lantern, but it is basically like a star,
Yeah.
star.
symbolizes the,
Star of
Star big.
Bethlehem.
Mhm.
yeah, Star of Bethlehem, right? Well, it was before made out of paper,
Just paper, yeah.
papers, and then they
Put
yeah,
lights on it. Mhm.
put lights, yeah, so there's like lights inside, so it's just pretty like glowing star. But
Yeah.
now they came up to like modern parole. They
I have
do
kapis
capis. So
parol.
capis, they're like shells, right?
Shells.
Yeah,
Mhm.
like shells.
Seashells.
We don't actually put them outside because it's winter, and
Mm-hmm.
the weather will just damage the parol, but we put them by the windows
By the
so
window.
they can, yeah, so they
Yeah.
can see outside. Oh, I'm so
Yeah.
excited.
For
Yeah.
for our listeners too, let's put it out there that the parol it symbolizes Filipino Christmas. Whether it's a rich family or less
Yeah.
fortunate ones, you'd see a parol in their house,
Yeah.
Of
really.
course.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
You see a parole? That's a Filipino family.
Oh yeah.
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 So now this is going to be my first Christmas here. Lawrence and I decided we will like go crazy with our Christmas decoration. So we set a budget for our Christmas decoration. And yeah, like we're just very excited. We're actually going to do a little bit of renovation in our living room just to
Okay.
make the living room like bigger.
Yeah.
But
To make
we
room
are
for a tree.
yeah,
Yeah.
pretty excited. Lawrence asked me, "Hey, sweetie, like, do you want what kind of Christmas tree do you want?" I said, "Of course, this is my first house, and I want to have a real Christmas tree, right?"
Ah, like a real one?
Yeah, I do
Ah,
want a
okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Christmas tree. I love the scent. I just the feel of just
Yeah.
being, like a real Christmas tree. But I hate the cleaning up.
That's what
I know.
I
I've heard
like
that.
about it.
I've
Yeah.
heard that. Mabango
Yeah.
daw. It's
Right?
fragrant, but when the needles start falling, then it
Yeah,
gets messy.
yeah.
But if that makes you happy, go for it. Yes, they do sell
Real
fresh
ones.
trees,
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
but you can also go out and like chop down your own tree.
Yeah, 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 yeah. You
There's
can do that.
lots
Really,
with
that
that
I
with
never
the tree.
experienced
Yeah,
that.
you can choose
Um,
your own Christmas tree. Like,
yeah.
and then you can chop and then take it home. Like
Wow.
Uh-huh.
that.
No, chick, but when you said about that having a real tree, just watch out for, of course, fire because of the
Mm,
lights. Yeah. So, but
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, it is. So to be honest, I'm not a fan of the real one because we did that before. But like the cleaning, and so I still have. I
The
want a
needles.
big,
Yeah,
the
needles
needle,
falling.
but I like the scent. I like the scent though. I like it.
Right. I mean, I just want to experience it.
I want to
Right.
try to. I doubt that I'll be able to get a real tree this year
Mhm.
because this year is just zipping by. I
Yeah.
feel like
So
I'm
fast.
just barely making it. Like,
Yeah.
oh, ito na Pasko na, Christmas na. I
Correct.
don't think I'll have time
To do-
to get a real tree.
yeah.
It's always been like a fake, an artificial
Mhm.
Christmas tree for me, but it works. But maybe I'll stick with that for this year, and plan earlier for next year.
Yeah. We're done with the decorations, and now again, the most important is food, 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 food.
Oh,
I'm not sure for other families in the Philippines, but for New Year's, I think New Year's or Christmas, but I always have a bulalo or a nilaga.
Oh yeah,
With
the,
it.
oh,
the soup
yes.
now, right?
Mhm. So
Wow.
for our listeners who do not know what it is, but it's kind of like boiling, parts of meat or beef, and then you put some vegetables to it. It's really flavorful, but it's one of our staple when I was growing up in the Philippines. So yeah, as far as food, I still serve the same Filipino menu that I
Yeah,
have.
yeah,
Spaghetti,
yeah.
Jack, is
Mm.
your nilaga the Christmas nilaga? Yeah, different from the regular nilaga. So what's funny is I've said this before, even to Filipinos, and they don't know it.
I don't.
Even for some Tarlakeños. I thought,
No, I
okay, so
don't.
it's, I guess not all Filipinos know it, but maybe people from Tarlac would know about it, but Chiclet doesn't. I
I
mean, Christmas nilaga is and we always had this back home. I agree with you, Jack. It's bringing all the food from Christmases back home to here and making all that food. So Christmas nilaga is low cooked. It's low cooked, right?
Mhm.
And there's a variety of meat. There's chicken, there's ham, there's pork, and there's beef,
wow.
there's vegetables. It's a stew. Is that what you have, Jack?
No.
If you Google it now, they call it either Christmas nilaga or nilagang Pasko, Paskong nilaga or
Oh
something.
wow.
How did I not know
Me
this?
too.
This is
I forget.
our nilaga every Christmas time. And a bit of background. When it comes to the food that I serve on Christmas Day, my grandmother's Mama Kat, she passed away 2 years ago. And it was at that time that I planned to remember her by making her Christmas food for our Christmas dinner. So there, Christmas nilaga, she always makes that for us. The year she passed away, everyone made Christmas nilaga, even my uncles and my aunt in the States. Then
Ah.
maybe all made that because we missed her so much. And that reminded us of Mama Kat.
Yeah.
And also, a second thing, chocolateng baterol. That's what
Oh, the
she
hot
would make.
I
chocolate.
remember you made that.
Yeah,
Yes,
I know. I know.
chocolateng
Love it.
baterol. That's one of her staples as well. Yeah, that's it.
Oh, getting
Ah.
so emotional. But yeah, I think that's nice. This is for you guys. It's kind of like your own family tradition, like
Mhm.
honoring Mama Cat. I remember her.
Yes.
I
Sweet,
remember her too.
sweet, sweet Mama Cat. Wait, you have mentioned the batirol. I'm pretty sure they will say, "What is batirol?"
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like I guess the closest, so they'll understand it. The non-Filipinos will understand it. It's hot cocoa,
It's hot
Okay.
right?
cocoa. Yes.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
hot cocoa, but we make it with the batirol. That's like a wooden like
Utensil.
mixing
It's a utensil.
utensil. And
Ah,
then instead of like a powder, you have
Chips.
tablea.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tablea. They're like chips that you put into steaming milk, and then you use the wooden utensil to mix it. There's
whoa.
also a bit
These are
of
like
peanut butter in there.
this really authentic ones. Yeah, these are authentic. Yeah.
Yes,
Okay, I
and then
don't
you
know.
drink it, especially in the
I
cold.
want to do it.
Yummy, yummy.
Mhm.
So we have Christmas nilaga, and Jack will also serve, her bulalo and also Filipino dish. So there's no touch of Western.
Nope for me.
No,
Nope
not
for me.
not for
I'm
me.
pretty sure for me, yes.
Yes, but don't forget that as with all celebrations in Filipino homes, there's always the lechon,
Oh
and
man.
that's the roasted pig.
So wait, do you make it or do you
No,
order
We
we buy, but it's expensive here. And for a small gathering, like just our family of what, six, the lechon would be too big and too expensive. So thankfully, there's what they call now lechong belly or bellychon. That's
Yeah,
what we
belly
have.
lechon belly.
That's good
Yes.
for a small family. Yeah.
Yes. You can try that chick. Yeah.
when we
Kind
say
of like
lechon
pork
is a
belly.
roast pig.
Yes.
And then Ting is talking about a part of the lechon, which
A
is the
part of the lechon, which is
roast belly. Oh
yeah.
my gosh, that's a lot of cholesterol.
Come
But
on.
But it's
really,
Christmas.
the
No
crispy,
counting of calories and
I know.
cholesterol.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's true. I told Lawrence I'm not counting any calories. I know holidays are coming, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to restrain myself from
Yeah,
eating all
no.
this
Like
delicious.
you can diet before, after, but during the
After, I'll do it
holidays,
after again.
I
So
remember
yeah.
something though, fruit salad. That's a staple too.
fruit
Fruit
Oh yeah,
salad.
fruit salad. Jack, explain
Yes, fruit
quick.
salad it's a dessert. It's a combination of different fruits. For us, we use kind of like a can of those tiny bits of fruits. You put some cream to it. You put some condensed milk to it to make it sweet. Because, like I said, it's a dessert. But and then sometimes you put it in a big bowl, or you can pack it in small cups so that you can. Sometimes you have to chill it to really have a good taste of it. So chill it, and then you get some of those cups. You eat it. I
Yeah.
like. Yeah. Oh,
Well, and then they
Yum.
also add like the young coconut, young
oh
shredded coconut,
yes.
right? Oh my gosh, our
Mm,
coconut is the best, right?
yes. Oh
So
yes.
soft, like just so
Mm.
flavorful. Oh my gosh, so I'm getting hungry and getting really excited. Now let's go to like Christmas tradition, like say Filipino tradition that is, I don't know, we do
Mhm,
this here in North America,
mhm.
incorporate, some
Yeah.
Western and Filipino
Yes.
tradition. So let's start.
I still do the December 24 Christmas mass at
Yeah.
night, the 12 midnight, the
Yeah.
12 o'clock
Uh,
midnight mass. We still have that.
Yeah.
I remember going to mass before, you go to mass and then you come home, you prepare the food, and then wait for 12 midnight. And then that's when you started greeting, hey, Christmas.
yeah. So
You go around, make a toast, and that. But I brought that here, so we do
Yeah.
that.
oh, okay.
My husband was like, at 8 p.m. he's getting tired, like he want to go to bed. I noticed that some of my, American friends there, they do it like 25th. That's when they open their gifts.
Christmas Day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for me, like early morning of December 25th, I'm sleeping because we slept late, so I'm still
Yeah.
sleeping at that time.
Same. For us, 24 is dinner, Christmas dinner.
Hmm.
And then we wait till the 25th. We do stuff in between, and when the midnight strikes, we open our presents, we do the exchange gift, and then on the 25th Christmas day we sleep in We wake up, we have the leftovers,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
And then that's when we go to Christmas mass. Not the 24th, but
Mhm.
Christmas Day for us. Yeah.
Got it.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
So same thing when I was in Canada celebrating with, when Ian, my daughter-in-law and my grandkids, we open presents on the Christmas Eve, kind of like 10 p.m. ish.
Really? Early?
This is the thing with my son and my granddaughter. They cannot wait.
Oh.
Like
Oh, okay.
they
Oh.
can, like, let's do it now. But I mean, it's basically the same. After that, we, after opening gifts, we eat, and then we just kind of watch whatever is on TV
Yeah.
and some entertainment. Last Christmas, I remember Kiki was just dancing and having fun,
Yeah.
and then. I mean, we get tired, and I would just, okay, goodbye, good night, and then the next day, we see each other again, but do some kind of relaxing stuff, like
Yeah.
just being home, right?
Yes. Mhm.
But now I am celebrating the Christmas here, and I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure that they will be celebrating it on a Christmas day,
On
because
Christmas
I have
Day.
I have also celebrated one, I think one or two Christmas with them. So Christmas Day, Christmas morning, we wake up, had breakfast, still on our pajamas. That's
Yeah.
why here it's a big thing. Like, you buy a nice pajama set.
Yeah.
We open gifts. Like I told you, I think we already talked about this. Like, one by one, we open gifts, right?
Yeah.
So I remember I wanted to share this with you ladies, but my first Christmas here, my first Christmas, my husband like went to bed at 9 p.m. and that was that December 24th. So I was like,
Mm-hmm.
we were in bed and the lights were off and it's December 24th and it's my first Christmas and I was crying. I was crying because
So sad.
yeah. So that same night I was text and it was just me and Rian. If you remember, it was just me and
Yeah.
Rian and my husband. So he went to bed at 9. So I was with him. I was like crying. What is this? I'm not used to this. So I texted Rian, and Rian was awake too because he's not used to
Yeah.
alone. He's alone. So we were living in an apartment that time. So I said, "Are you still awake? Do you want to go? Let's meet at the living room." So we went to the living room and stayed there. Just
Just
video
celebrate.
calling. Just we
Yes.
celebrated just the two of us.
Wow.
So it was bad. And then the next morning, my husband was waking me up, but I couldn't because I slept late. And he's about to celebrate, and I'm like, I'm done.
Oh.
It was a learning experience because again, it's different culture, right?
Well,
So
it's so hard for you, Jack.
it
Like
it was
balancing the
because like I said, I wanted to insist my beliefs, my tradition, but I have to respect his as well. It
Yeah.
has to be 50-50.
two.
So yeah, I mean, again, do your family thing, right? But it's still nice to learn from other traditions. Like
Be
here in
open
North
to it.
America,
Mhm.
incorporated with our Filipino traditions. It's just a
Yeah.
win-win.
Yeah.
It's always a win-win. Okay, what else? What else can we like Ting, you
We
said
have the manito, manita back home, right?
it's like Chris Kringle here.
What we do at work is the secret Santa. It's the same
Mm.
thing. Basically, it's the same thing. You draw names out of a
They
hat or a
Uh-huh.
box.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to say because it's supposed to be secret who you picked out because you're gonna get a gift for them. And then you have a party, and that's where you exchange presents, right?
What about wait? What about the song
Oh,
Manito Manita? I love my.
Oh, to be honest, I don't know the
You
song.
don't
Who
know
knows it?
that?
I
I
don't know
love
that.
my Manito or
Yes, I
Manita.
do.
Yes, I do. And then you give the gift.
Oh my God.
You
Yeah,
don't
Oh
because
know
yes,
you
the
go
I do. And
around,
you're
right?
in
You
front of
go
the
around.
person.
Yeah, and when you do the I do, that's when you give,
Oh.
right? I remember. I
gift.
remember.
So
I just remembered something. What do you think of the office, holiday parties?
I
I think the Christmas parties here are a lot simpler than what we have in the Philippines. In the Philippines, we would even have competitions.
I
I would
know, yeah.
remember.
I wanted to
Yeah,
point
right.
that out because
Yeah.
I'm just so used to our Christmas parties back home, the interdepartmental competition. Jack, you know of this because this is peak season for your, choreography work, right?
yeah.
I would remember three or four companies. I will have to choreograph their, their production for that competition. I used to make so much money out of this, and it's really, it's gonna be my budget for my Christmas.
Yeah.
But it's gonna make me work all the way until like December 24th.
Yeah. That's
Up
your
all the way
seasonal
to, yes.
seasonal
And we
gig,
did this.
right?
Remember, we did this during Christmas. I think I was also doing weddings at that time, and it's so exhausting because I was doing weddings, I was doing choreography. It was so much that I had to do my last minute shopping on December 24th. You just pick out
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, but I miss that because I keep thinking, oh, if there's a competition, if there's a talent competition like that, I would be like front and center. Kakaririn ko talaga for
Go
the dollars.
there! Go
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
there!
yeah. True.
no, but I
Yes,
can't complain because over here, I always say that our holiday parties at work is like our fancy date night. You can bring your plus one. So I always have Jay with me,
Mhm.
and you get to dress up. I get to do my nails. I get to wear my high heels,
Mhm.
and then you get to eat like expensive, fancy food
Mhm.
and drinks, and all, of
Yeah.
course, all free, courtesy of the company. So yeah, you know what? I really enjoy our office parties, minus the competition, but I guess I'm too old for that anyway. But yeah,
Mhm.
but I like
We do.
it.
It's just really about like putting everyone together in a
Together.
room,
Yeah.
have things to
Yes,
celebrate, chit chat, don't talk about
I
work.
agree. It's more of like socializing and
Yes.
just mingling in a setting outside of work. You
Yes.
know, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. The aguinaldo, giving money on Christmas.
Yeah.
Okay, this is why Filipinos have 12 pairs of godfather and
Oh God,
godmother.
Ninong
Not
and
fun.
Ninang.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is a joke, but hopefully really, but because on like Christmas time, our kids would go around, or you would go to their houses, all these ninongs and ninangs, we call godmother and godfather, and they will give each child
Money.
money
Yeah.
for Christmas. So we call that aguinaldo.
Let's also add in that before that, you go to the bank, change your money to like those
Small
new,
bill.
Malutong.
yeah,
And malutong, like
the
crispy money, like new
really,
money.
yeah,
New money, new
new
bills.
money. Because it's not even the amount, but with what you give. Let's say you're just giving 100, but that's like what if it's gonna be smaller bills? It's like 520s, right?
520s,
So,
Yeah,
right?
it looks
Yeah.
ooh,
a lot,
yeah, yeah.
right?
It looks more, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
the more children you have, the more godfather and grandparents you have, the better.
Yeah,
So
the
that's why
better.
I have four kids.
So let's talk about New Year. So this is the most festive, right?
Oh
It's
yeah.
What is?
I think
yeah,
it's more fun too.
yeah.
Yeah.
But again, like, can we still say it's more festive here? There you go.
I realized that their fireworks here is on the 4th of July, not New Year's.
New
Oh,
Year.
Yeah, so I remember my first New Year's like,
That's
where's the fireworks? Like, aren't we gonna buy some? Like, no,
yeah.
yeah.
I
For us, it's
agree.
still kind of like a continuation of Christmas. It's still in
Mhm.
home. You still go to mass, and then you still it's this practically part two of the Christmas
Of
celebration.
Christmas, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what made me so sad. The new year here is so dead unless you really go out and look for a
Party.
party with a fireworks display. Here over here downtown they have skating, but I don't skate, so that's not nothing for me. But they have a band, they have food trucks, but that's gonna be expensive, so we just choose to stay at home, make food, and then just what we do, we watch TV and watch the ball drop on Times Square,
The
Yeah.
ball
and
drop.
then yeah, we
Yeah.
stay up until midnight and make our toast, you know
No,
that's it.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember there was a New Year when I was in Canada. I just slept over it. Like, I mean,
Oh.
it's just typically for me kind of, like just an ordinary day. Like if you want to celebrate it, you have to go to parties, in which
Yeah.
I'm not really, like a party goer. So
Yeah.
it's so different. It's more festive in the Philippines.
Yeah.
It's
Definitely.
loud.
Yeah, it's louder. Can we say like also like New Year, when you say New Year, like reunion, right? Like, oh my
Yes.
Yes,
gosh,
around that
like
time. Yeah.
extended family would,
Color
Yeah.
coding, like family for, yeah, like
yeah, like
reunion.
it's a big
Around New
family
Year.
reunion, games,
Mm.
lots of food. It's you can light up fireworks and some
Yeah.
firecrackers, but here you can't do
You
that. You're
can
not allowed.
No, it's
remember
bawal.
remember back home, all the men are like outside to putting
Oh
all the
yeah,
fireworks, and all of us
Yes.
are like just watching.
wives
You
are
know,
just cooking
you have to
inside
put
and watching.
you
Oh
have
my,
to put the dog inside because they're gonna be
you're
Because
scared.
they're gonna get
scared.
If you
scared
have
of
a
the
baby,
noise.
you put some earmuffs on the
Yeah,
baby so that there's
No,
just
not even earmuffs, eh. You know, the bulak,
the cotton.
the cotton in the ear.
Guys, we don't have the earplugs.
yeah,
And
yeah.
this is part of our like superstitions. Yeah,
Mm,
superstitious
Exactly.
belief, which, when we were younger, we didn't really understand. Our elders did it and they taught us to do it too. But now we understand more.
mm.
More. Yeah.
Well,
So with making noise, what's
yeah,
that for?
making noise, I think, is driving away bad spirits. I'm not sure if
That's
it's
true.
it's the Chinese culture that kind of like
Yes.
influences, but it's driving away bad spirits. You open your door so that all the good spirits, all the blessings are gonna come. So the more open windows and open doors
Okay.
you have,
The good
the
will
more
come in
blessings
and the
you're
noise
gonna
will
get.
The
drive the
noise
bad
will
out.
drive
Right.
away bad spirit.
If you wear like a shirt that's polka dots, like all the circles, it means money because it denotes the
Yeah.
circles. Like
I
Wait.
have a funny story about the polka dots. Can I share?
Okay.
So, of course, in the Philippines, when you wear polka dots any time of the year other than New Year, they will tease you and say, Happy New Year, even if it's, July. When I came here, I wouldn't wear my polka dots if not New Year because, that's ingrained in me. That's what I thought. That's our tradition. But, they don't know that tradition. No one's gonna tease you. You can wear your polka dots any time of the year. So one time I had to explain it to a Canadian coworker, and it is actually a superstition that wearing polka dots will usher in financial wealth because it's
Yeah, because
bilog bilog, right? Bilog bilog money
yeah,
the
round
coming year. Yeah,
coins or yeah, money.
yeah. So I still wear my polka dots, but I've also thought, and some people are doing this now, instead of polka dots, they wear stripes to symbolize bills.
Oh, I
Because
didn't know that.
coins, no one wants coins. They want dollar bills. Diba? I don't know what I'm gonna do this year. Dots or stripes?
Well, you can mix it. Your top would be polka dots and then
And
stripes.
stripes. Ooh,
This is
yeah.
such a funny topic. Like it's always superstition. Like this is always talk about, right, in the
Yeah.
Philippines.
you
So I
jump,
just want,
you jump so you get taller. Remember
yeah.
that for the kids?
And remember to jump up and not
Oh my
just
god,
from a height
jump
going down. You have to jump
Yes,
up.
yes, you have to jump up because if you
here.
and remember you have to put some money in your pockets too.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes, and then you have to kind of like shake it when it's
Yeah, the
Right?
sound
In
like
the middle. Yeah.
ka-ching,
I
ka-ching.
don't know if it's the same with you. It's 13 coins for us.
Oh, the fruits. Remember
13.
the fruits? Yeah.
I think that's
13
the
coins.
fruit, the round fruits, 13
Yes.
round for
They
you.
say they say yes, 13 round fruits also on your table, but
Oh
they
my
say it's supposed to be prosperity for each month of the year, but then we only have 12 months in a year, so it doesn't make sense to have
god.
13. I don't know.
Just I it drives me crazy. My mom is out and about in the market looking, actually my mom and my sister
Oh,
looking for
sure.
13 round fruits
Before they ran out, right? Before they ran
before
out.
they run out, because all Filipinos are, looking
I, I
for fruits.
I remember a funny story. You
Oh my
remember back
god.
home for to add more noise when it's 12 midnight, kind of like honk your horn, like the cars.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
I
yeah.
did that here, and my husband like, "What are you doing? Come on inside." When I come in, ganito pa ako. It's like, bakit ba?
No, and because back home we used to make We used to make so much noise with anything and everything we
Radio.
can get a
Yeah.
hold of, like
Wait,
pots
the
and pans.
pots and pans.
Yes, the torotot, torotot,
Yeah.
Like a
Trumpet.
small trumpet.
trumpet,
Yeah.
trumpet, and the car alarms in modern times. The car alarms, yeah.
Judas belt. Firecrackers,
Like two
really.
minutes.
Oh my goodness. Like would just destroy your eardrum. Crazy, loud, noisy is Philippines, and even it just lights up
Yeah.
everything. Oh my gosh. Anyway, so yeah, just talking about this, just so fun. Just bringing up all these memories, right? Yeah, so I guess this is it, guys. New Year's celebration is always full of fun, interesting, and a showcase of our folk beliefs. That is a part of it, right? All right, so I guess this is the last topic, and I'm pretty sure this is going to be very personal. Oh my gosh, from being, from laughing now,
Are you gonna make
being
us cry now?
personal. Yeah, no, but we need to talk about this because this is, I think all immigrants had experienced this, beating the holiday blues.
You know what? I've been away from home for 8 years, give or take.
That's
Parang 8 years na.
yeah.
And for me, I can say I miss home the most during the holiday season. Kasi ang Christmas back home is so happy. Ang saya ng Pasko sa
Yeah.
Pilipinas.
Yeah.
It's all about family. And you know me, family is the most important thing to me next to God. Next to God. So,
Yeah.
but you know what I do to just get by is video calls. Again, video calls is all I can do. I'm on a call with them while they're having their Christmas party, their New Year's party. I just want to be present even just virtually. I want to be there for them, and while I'm making my Christmas dinner, while I'm having, my small family celebration here, I'm still on a video call with them. And that's it. That's all I can do for now, right?
Yeah.
Until I see them again. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Ah, that's sad. It now it made me miss home because Christmas is my mom's birthday. That is why,
Oh,
yeah, it's my mom's birthday. So the
and
celebration
make
really
it
is
harder.
it is, and the celebration is towards her. And just like thing, you know what sucks is because of the time zone. While they're celebrating it, it's not yet Christmas to you. You know,
Mhm.
being away, it sucks that I get to watch them celebrate it without me being there. And no, and it is. I remember I doing this. Like, what are you guys making? I'm making spaghetti. I'm gonna make spaghetti too, so that at
Mm,
that moment while you're eating, I'm gonna be eating spaghetti, so that whatever you can do to make sure you're feel, because of it's virtual, it's like eating candy with wrapper on it, you
yeah.
get to, it's so hard. And um then that's the best thing you can do, it's just the video call. And what I can do to cope is to bring the tradition here. I made sure that my kids will remember that it's still practice, even if, because that's the only thing that's gonna bring me home,
Mhm.
like doing what they're, and sometimes they'd be on a video call watching us. But you know how
Yeah.
hard it is, right? How hard it is. Sometimes the connection is gonna go off. They're but that's the best thing you can do. That's the only thing you can do, right?
Yeah. And the same thing with me, Jack, with family traditions. I try to keep the family traditions alive the best way I can over here.
Mhm.
That way, I may not be physically there, but I know my heart is there with them. The connection is still there.
Just
Mm-hmm.
the-
Because this is when you really miss family so much. I mean, throughout the year you miss them, but this is when you miss them and it hurts.
My experience is I guess different from you guys. My mom and my dad are separated. My family is not perfect, but I love
Yeah.
Of
each
course.
one of them. Like in my belief that Christmas been, like a family and being together. Thankfully there's video calls, but I still like until now I really wish, when I plan to go back home in the Philippines, I wish we'll have like really, just a family, but I know it's not going to happen, but I still wish that would happen because I miss that. And even here, I'm away again from my son and, his family, and also wish that, we can spend Christmas. So I have a different, I don't know, I have
Mm.
just different family, yeah, settings, dynamics. So it's still hard, but I wish so hard and I pray that even just one day we celebrate
Mm,
Christmas or any special holidays like together, like as a
Together.
whole family,
yes. Yes,
right?
Mhm.
I guess no matter whatever your dynamics would be, whatever the setting in the family, whether you're a big family or close or broken, whatever, the feelings are real. The struggle is real,
Yep,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess, despite all these changes for Filipino families at home and abroad, what has never changed is that Christmas and New Year remains one of the most awaited holidays for the Filipinos, where family and friends gather to make Christmas and New Year merry and warm. So I agree with what Jack had said. It's all about family, right? That's it for our podcast episode this week. Join us again next week when we talk about tips on preparing for holiday. And for our listeners who haven't yet, please follow Instagram and Facebook at Churvapalooza. Please leave comments and suggest topics.
All right, and new episodes drop every Thursday. That's 8 a.m. Eastern Time. There's also 6 a.m. Mountain Time, and of course 9 p.m. po Manila Time or Philippine Time. So watch us. Nandun po kami sa Spotify. We're streaming live in Spotify. And if you want to watch the video version of this podcast, you can check that out in YouTube. Thank you,
Yeah. Join us for another round of Churva Churva with meeting.
Jack.
And Chick!
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.